Hello everyone, this is Uchek Technology, and today we want to welcome you to crafting a simple coming soon web page video which will be threading today as quick as possible. So like we have mentioned, even if you don't have experience in coding and in development of website, just stay tuned, and we'll gradually grow ourselves and make ourselves a coming soon page. If you have not installed your text editor, I will want to encourage you to watch my previous video and try and install a Visual Studio Code text editor which we'll be using for this project. So quickly, I'd like you to open your Visual Studio text editor. Yeah, so this is our Visual Studio text editor, and first of all, what we want to do now is to try and create all our folders and our files, just to manage it in order for us to be able to access each and every one of them straight away from our Visual Studio. So when you come to this icon here at the top, yeah, you just go to click open folder, and I would like you to set it on your desktop because we'll be putting all our folders and assets file on our desktop. For now, my desktop is empty, so I'm going to create a new folder inside it, and I'm going to name it coming dash soon. Yes, and I'm going to select that same folder I just created, and it's going to open up in my Visual Studio Code. So yes, now this is the folder we just created, and we're still creating more folders. If you look at the above icon here, you have the new folder, you have the file, you have the refresh, and you have this one that collapse all folder. We're going to be taking new folder, and we're going to be creating our first folder inside our coming soon folder, which is going to be named CSS. Then I clicked at the space bar again, empty space down. I'm creating another folder and I'm naming it images because we'll be using some images. I'm back again to this empty space here, and I'm clicking again. I'm having a JS. I click enter. So I already have 3 folders. Now I'm clicking back the space, the empty space. I'm creating a file now, a new file, not folder, file. I'm creating it and I'm using index.html, and I'm pressing enter. So now I already have this in place. So the good part of Visual Studio Code is there are some easy way you can pop up some code, even if you don't need to cram it. Like if I type my HTML, you see that there's pop up HTML5, HTML, or just ordinary HTML. I'll just click on my HTML5 and it has pop up every necessary code I need to build an HTML5. Quickly, we're going to change this title. We're going to be putting it coming soon, and okay, for the remaining one we could just leave it like that. So at the body here we'll just say welcome to my page. So I want us to just quickly save. I want us to quickly go to our system and check. Now you can find it. Yes, this is the folder we just created, coming soon, and this is CSS, these are images for JS file, and this is the index we just created. So we want to open it now in our browser. I'm going to be using Chrome. Yes, so it's coming up, and now you can see welcome to my page. So let's go back to our text editor, and we'll be doing some little adjustment here. So now we'll be creating some extra files, which will also create the links on our text editor on this our index.html. First, let us create our style sheet, a file. So you go to a new file and you write style.css. This is where all our main code for our CSS will be. We also need another file here, but let's just link this one first. So the code line for linking that style.css, there's a short pattern to it. By the time you type link on your text editor, if you come down here, you have CSS. So once you click on it, it gives you all the information. And you see that it's already writing style.css for us because we already have a file named to it. We're going to be doing another one, which we will use another file. I would like us to integrate a Bootstrap into the system, and we're going to download that soon. And then let's just take one more link, which we'll be using soon. That's for far icon. I will explain to you where we will need this. We're going to change this. We're going to be changing this. It's not going to be this format. So now quickly, let's go to our browser, and then let's download our Bootstrap file. If you go to Ocheck Technology, /download/assets file, I am going to be dropping all the files we're going to be using for all classes, one after the other. Now you can find that you see the coming soon page, web page, and then you can just download this Bootstrap 5.0.2. Once you click on download, it's going to automatic download. So we can now go to our download folder, and let's just take that file. So here's the file that we just downloaded. All you just need to do is either you copy or you cut it, and you take it to your CSS file and you add it there. And then so we'll come back to our text editor, and right here we want to get that file CSS. I think there's an error, and then bootstrap.mini.css. This one also we need to pick it from the folder CSS, then style.css. And then now I want us to quickly get the image resources we need for this project. I've already taken my time to do some images for myself. I currently have 4 images. I have one BG, the far icon, my logo, which is in colored, and my logo, which is in white, whichever case I'm going to be using. And I'm going to copy all this from where it is, and I'm going to come back to my coming soon project in my desktop, and I'm going to paste all of them inside my images. Then I now come back to this place because I want us to just quickly fix this far icon. So I want to go to images, and I'm going to take far icon.png because that's the file I'm going to be using for it. Now I'm going to show you quickly where this far icon, this icon link, where it displays. If you currently come, this is where it displays. At the top here now, you have my far icon. So we'll go back to our text editor, and now we are going to be working on the main body section to start building our coming soon page. So we're taking out this welcome to our page, and then we're going to start with the section. Then we're going to be giving this a class. Coming soon BG. We want a background to be at the full page of our body. Next, we're going to have a div with a class container. And then we're going to have another div with a class row. And this one, we are picking this container and row from our Bootstrap. Our Bootstrap has already helped us to set up this so that it could be mobile friendly. So next, now we're going to divide this page into 2, an upper section and a counter timer section where the timing will display. So I'm going to have another div, and this one I'm going to be having it as class upper section, and I have another div, and I'm setting this class to countdown timer. So now inside this div is where we're going to be putting our logo and some of our content. We're going to be having a div for logo and a div for content. So div class for logo section, this class for content section. So under our logo section, we're going to be having our image for our logo, and also I would like us to put an anchor tag whereby anybody who clicks on it, it goes back to that same link. So we're taking an that is an anchor tag, to click it, and then right here let's quickly put index.html. that is pointing back to our HTML, and right here we use our image tag here, and so we're going to be picking our source from our image and our logo. So let's use the colored logo here now, and then here we're having ISO check technology. That's just for our alternative alternative and text. So let's move to our content. Now content, we just have an H2 and also we're having an H3 so that it will be bold. Let's put we are coming soon here, and then here let's just put what we are into: website development, graphics design, and let's put printing. Yeah, I think for now this is okay. So let's go to our browser and let's see what we have now on our browser. Initially it was welcome to our page, but if we refresh now, yeah, we're already having those information we have now are now displaying on it. So we now need to go to our CSS to help us beautify our web page. So firstly we create a height for the body and a HTML. I'll set it to height 100%, and then next we'll move to the coming soon BG CSS class. We'll have a dot, and then first we'll set the background, which is an image. Yeah, this is the image we're using for the background. Next we're setting the repeat. No repeat. Next we're setting the position, and we're using centered. Next we're setting the size, and we're using cover, and lastly we're setting the height. I'm fixing it for 100%, and then we can save now and quickly check our browser. So our image is up and is set. So the next one we are going to be working on, if you look at it, the next class we had is upper section. Let's quickly just fix that. You put a dot, and for the upper section you just have two line, position, and we're using relative, and text align, which is going to be centered. We want it to be centered, everything to be at the middle. And then if we come back here, if we refresh, find out that everything now is at the middle. So let's continue, and we're still going to be using this upper section, and then we're going to be adding our logo section. That's for this logo sec, and then inside here we're going to also be using a position, and should be relative. Then let's take a margin bottom of 50 pixel. I think that should be okay for that. If we come now, you notice that there's nice space. We'll still fix it. Like I told you, we are just trying to fix up everything about the look. And then next, now we're going to just want to take all this to create the next one, because now we want to talk to the image direct. So the img, And for that aspect, we just want to, in case when you post your logo and your logo is too big, you can relate with the size here, and I'm fixing on to 200 pixel. I feel that will be okay. That will be okay. So no matter how wide it is, no matter how small it is, it comes back to 200 pixel. So let's move to the I'd like us to quickly move also to the content area. Though we're relating everything with this upper section. And then now I think once we move down to this content, so dots, and then we are still going to work on the position relative. So inside here now, I want us to relate with the H2, and we're going to be setting some parameters for the H2. First is going to be the font size. We're going to be having it at 72 pixel. Next one is the line height. That line height is going to, let's put it at 70 pixel. And let's do the font weight. Let's put it at 700. And let's put a margin bottom. That's the space between the next line. Let's just put 30 pixel, and let's give it a color. Instead of black, let's give it a color. Let's use white. So one of the codes for white is FFF. Once you have FFF, you're going to give you white. So let's save and see what we have here. So now you see the combination is bigger than the natural H2. So all this we put in now is just to increase the weight. I will advise that while you are writing the code one line, as you're adding one line, you try and refresh your page to see the effect, so that I don't consume much time. I'm trying to also rush up. So let's go to the next one. Now we want to work on the H3. So let's fix the H3. That's this section. And for the H3, we are almost having similar things. So here we're just going to have H3, and we're still going to be using our font size, but this time it's going to be 40 pixel, and then the line height was 50 pixel. So we're just reducing from the first one, font weight. Instead of 700, now we just use 400, and then the margin bottom, let's still maintain 30 pixel. And because my background is dark, I want to use color of the same white. Feel free to choose. If you look at it now, it has given a drop down of so many other colors, so you can choose from the varieties of color. But for the purpose of this training or tutorial, I'm using white because white works for me. So now if we go back to our page, we're already having this. So now we don't like it as it's at the top edge of this browser. So I want to try and make a space above and a space below, so that everything now will be at the center. Now what I will do now is to create a padding top and a padding bottom, and I'll fix it in the code. So let's just quickly fix the CSS aspect of it before we put it in the code. So PD, I'm creating this new style now, PD top, and I'm using, let me use 100 pixel. So I just come here and I put padding top, and I'm making it 100 pixel. So for me, I write like this. If I'm going to use PD top 70, I'll make the padding top in the property to be 70. So let's run now for PD bottom. And I'm taking it to be 100 again. So padding bottom, and I'm taking it 100 pixel. I'm going to save. So for it to effect now, I need to come down to my text editor and fix that. Now immediately after my section, I'm going to create a div here. I'm going to be having that class, and here I'm going to be inserting for the top. Then before the close of the section, I'm going to create another div, and I'll be having a class. So let me go back to confirm what was written, or better still, I copy it and I put it in here. Yeah, so I think let us run it now. So you now see that it's done, but I like to change this my logo to white because I prefer the white background. Like I said before, I had both ready for the project. And we'll go white. Alright, so everything is coming out gradually. We are going to be designing our countdown timer, and it will be at this section, this bottom section. So let's go to our text editor. Now this div that is carrying our countdown timer class is where we are going to be inputting all the rest of our code. So you just come here and you hit your enter, and then we're going to be creating some other tags, HTML tags inside here. The first one is going to be a div tag, which we have a class, and the class we're just going to be using text left, which we are picking from our Bootstrap CSS. And then we have another data date, data date. We'll come back and fill in that place by the time we are wrapping up this video. So now the next one, we're having another div tag, and that div tag we're going to be having a class called item, and then we're having a next we'll be having a span tag, and then in the span tag we'll be having data for our days. Outside it now, in between the two span, you just put your figure 0. So next one, we're having a paragraph tag, and we are filling in days there. And then we also finally have a small tag, and we'll put our column there. Now we're going to be repeating this section for our hours, minutes, and our seconds. So we're just going to be changing some things. For the days, we're changing the days, and we're fixing hours. Yes, everything looks nice. We're fixing another one for this. This is going to be for the minutes, and the last one for the seconds. Why for the seconds we would not need any column for the seconds, so we're deleting that part. We'll save, and we'll go back to our browser, and when we refresh, we already have it here. So we use our CSS to fix this. So let's get back to our text editor, and let's go to our style.css. And first we are going to begin with writing our CSS style for the countdown timer, which is a parent div. So you fix your dot, and then we're going to set the position to relative, and text align, and we're using center. Next we're going to have dots. We're going to be relating with the items now. Dot item. If you come back to your HTML, you see that after the timer we have the item. If you remember, I said this one text left is picking its styling from our bootstrap. So the next one now we are going to be working on is the item. After the item, we'll work on our span, on our paragraph, and on our small. Setting our CSS for our item, but we'll still be carrying it from our countdown timer. And this time we're going to go to our item. And then first we're going to have our position, relative, and display. And we'll be having it inline block, text align, we'll set it to center, padding, we're going to set first one to 0 pixel and the second one to 25 pixel, and that should be that for the item. So if you notice now, everything is now at the center. So the next one now we're going to go set up for our span. Our span is the next one we want to work on. And so we're having our dot count down timer dot item and our span. And the first thing we are doing is setting the color, and the color we're using is white for me. Next is the font weight, which we're setting to 700. Next is the font size, which we're setting to 48 pixel. Next is the line height, which we're setting to 58 pixel. And last for this one, we're going to be setting a margin bottom, and that will be 6 pixel. So let's save and let's see what we have now. So now for the span, which is carrying the 0000, which we have put in our HTML, if you noticed, for each span we had a 0. Span for days, span for hours, span for minutes, span for seconds. So now we'll move to the next one, which is going to be the small. Let's work on the small. Dot item small, and first we're going to have the font size 50 pixel. Next is the font weight, let's use 600. Next is the position. For this one we want to use absolute, and then right, I want to give a little difference with the right, -9 pixel, and then top, let's set the top to 13 pixel. The color for this one, let's make a change. Let's use red. Let's save and let's come back. Let's refresh, and if you notice now we have red for the span, which is the column. Now we want to work on the paragraph tag. So for the paragraph tag, we're still calling up our count down timer, and we're still looking into through our item. And now for the paragraph, so let's still give it a color, and let's still leave the color to be red. Font size Now font size 13 pixel, font weight, let's use 600. Then our margin, let's use a margin top of 3 pixel, and text transform, let's do text transform to upper, to instead of small letters just be capital letters. Line height of 23 pixel. Then font family, we're going to be using this. Then let's set it to be important. So I noticed that there was an error here. We use font family instead of font weight. We're supposed to use font weight and not font family. So let's correct this. Check yours and make the correction. Now everything is going to be changing. All right, so now we are good to go. Now all we need now is to get our countdown timer running, and for this we are going to be needing some JavaScript library. I've made it easy for us. So once you go to my website, go check technology.com/download/access file. The files we are using for this video is all there. Download this for the CSS. So now for the JS, we have the main, we have the Bootstrap JS, the jQuery, and then we have the countdown library. So you could just download the 4 of them and you copy them and put in your JS folder. Alright, so once you're done, you have the 4 of them, you just copy them. For me, I'll cut them. I'll go back to my desktop. This is my coming soon folder. I go to the JS and I put it in there. So I go back to my text editor, and all we're going to do now is below this section close tag, the section close tag below it, before the end body, we're going to link up our JavaScript for the new files. Script tag with source, and then here we're going to add a type, and we're going to be adding it as a text/JavaScript. Then we come to the source. Already we know how to get the source, JS, and then we take the first one, and then we could do this for the remaining one. So I'm just going to copy and paste. We have 4, so I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to have the JS. The next one is countdown. Then I have the JS. JS, and the last one is my main. I'd like us to move this jQuery above. Yeah, so once we save, it's there but still not running because we still have to add some other things. Still not running. So the other thing we are adding, it's, you come up to this place. There's a place I told you that we're going to visit later. That's this line where you have your text left. First you're going to put a class and you're going to call it count down, and then right here we're going to put in the date you want the countdown to stop. For me, I'm going to be using January 1st 2024. I'm asking it to stop at 23 column 59 59. So once I hit my save and I go back to my main page, voila, the counter starts counting. So now a quick one. Once you go to the main JS, I think that's where I just want to focus on now. You find out that in the main JS, inside this script, I have implemented that CSS class which I have in my index. This is the countdown, and this countdown is picking its function, countdown library. So I believe we have come to the end of this video tutorial on crafting a simple coming soon web page. I don't know how it has been to you. If it has been impactful for you, I'd like you to give your thumbs up, I'd like you to subscribe to the channel, I'd like you to also make your comments. Feel free to ask questions. We are both learning here. I'm not the best of the best, but I'm giving what I already know. So just feel free to share your thoughts, and I'll prepare other videos. See you soon.